Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at 8 monster taming roguelikes and roguelites that are either new or up and coming. For those that don't know, the roguelike genre generally, but not exclusively, cover games that typically feature permadeath, randomized levels and areas, and focus on replayability. Roguelites are generally in the same vein, but typically feature some type of progression or leniency beyond the permadeath destroying your whole save or run. I could spend all day going over what could exactly be a roguelike versus a roguelite, but that's honestly neither here nor there because we're going to cover both. But yeah, with that being said, make sure to sit back, relax, and let's talk about some monster taming roguelike games. Alright, so first up on the list we have Abomination. This is a monster taming roguelike with an emphasis on replayability and a theme consisting of very cutesy, almost bubbly creatures partaking in somewhat grim activities. The Abomi must protect the light spirit, and in doing such will have several matches to the death with other Abomi. The game features a wide variety of custom play options, 100 different Abomi that you could end up finding on your journey, randomized towns and worlds where you can stock up, and a whole lot more. The game actually did come out today, hence why it's the first on this list, and was a major part of me making this video. I will be streaming the game tomorrow with Carl as well, who is the game's developer, so stay tuned for that. Next up on our list, we've got a game I'm personally really excited for, that being Necromancers Gift, a monster taming roguelite inspired by Slay the Spire. In Necromancer's Gift, there are various floors and levels in which you must complete, and you're given the choice of various branching paths along the way. At the end of each main level will be a floor leader who acts as a major boss for you to get through in order to get to the next area. There's also permadeath, of course, and apparently I'm going to be in the game, so that's definitely exciting. One thing that's got me really excited about the game is the monster designs, as they're not your typical cutesy, fluffy, animal-esque creatures, but instead look very alien and almost uncomfortable. These things are very eerie, and they don't really fit into any Earth-like world that you'd expect, which is interesting because the Necromancer's Lair, where the game takes place, is supposed to be a place on Earth. The game's not out yet, but the alpha is slated for August 31st of this year. Next up, we got Adore, a game that ventures away from turn-based combat and instead features a real-time, almost League of Legends-esque system, with there being monsters that you can capture and then utilize as your summoner abilities. The player characters themselves actually don't attack, but instead utilize various monsters whom they share a life link with. When your monsters go down or take damage, you do as well, and it makes for a really interesting gameplay experience overall. The game features various maps that you can venture through, all of which of course are randomly generated and will culminate in various boss battles, whether they be against other human summoners or very large bosses. Other than that, the monsters are interesting, the overworld is beautiful, and it's honestly a ton of fun. I highly recommend checking it out, especially if you're looking for a non-turn-based monster taming experience. If you're a fan of the Shin Megami Tensei series and are looking for a game that meshes SMT combat and roguelike elements, then Malice and Greed might just be the game for you. Much like Necromancer's Gift, as we mentioned earlier, the game provides you with a multitude of branching paths and tasks you, in this case, with butchering your enemies to victory. Like I said, the combat system is very reminiscent of Shin Megami Tensei. You have some enemies that will heal when taking certain attacks. You have multi-battles, etc. One thing I really appreciate about this game too is the attention to detail with the camera. It doesn't sound like a big thing, but whenever you use certain attacks, the camera will sort of shift ever so slightly, and it gives that sort of extra oomph to the game, if that makes any sense. Next up, we got a fusion between the monster taming, Metroidvania, and roguelike genres in the form of Patchquest, a monster riding game that honestly is a lot of fun. Its Metroidvania aspects come from its static yet labyrinth-esque map layout, and the roguelike aspect come from its randomized individual areas. Also, every time you die, you restart in the center of this map. However, you do save progress from each run. The game basically plays like a bullet hell where every monster is obtainable and can be utilized in combat. Each monster comes with its own unique set of abilities, whether they be more tuned to defensive capabilities or offensive, and most have a mix of both. All these different kinds of monsters can be found in different biomes, and overall, just another really fun, addictive game. It's currently available on early access on Steam. Next up, we got Mython Island, another game inspired by Slay the Spire in that it has branching paths that net different situations for you to overcome, this time with your Mython. You wake up on this strange island with no memory and are tasked with the mission of vanquishing evil. However, not everything is as it seems on the island. This game features turn-based stamina combat and various Mython that can join you throughout your journey. Permadeath, of course, is a thing, and the dev's actually working on an adventure mode for the game, which will actually have you exploring around the overworld rather than using the menu options to sort of choose your path, so it's definitely going to be interesting too. The game is also currently out on early access on Steam. Next up, we have the Corpsemen, a deck-building roguelite where you must build a team in order to, and I quote, fight, harvest, and hunt other monsters. The game's creatures are also very interesting in that they'll change and sort of adapt to the way that you build them, which is definitely a customization aspect that you want to see in these types of games. The basic story behind this game is sort of reminiscent of Attack on Titan, where the last remaining humans are situated inside of a city, and you have to use the monsters in-game to fight against other monsters that are trying to destroy humanity. This one's also out in early access. And finally, last but not least, we have Tangled Deep, a dungeon crawling and monster taming roguelike. This game features different monsters that you can utilize on this strategic grid-based system. Though personally not a huge fan of grid-based games, I am surprised that there aren't more monster taming games like this, because the possibilities are endless with the amount of customization and player choice that comes with monster taming games in general, so adding the grid system could really add like a new layer. But yeah, if you are looking for something a little more strategic, this might just be your thing. This game does sort of tote the line with what's considered new, as it did come out a couple years ago, but Cirque brought it to my attention, so thanks to him for that. And there you have it, guys. Those are 8 monster taming roguelike/roguelite games. I would really like to get your guys' feedback with regards to these list-styled videos. Judging from the feedback so far, it seems that you guys are really enjoying these kind of videos, and I enjoy making them, as these act as a really good resource for people looking for something specific. I have a lot more ideas, but let me know in the comments what you think about videos like this, or just let me know what your thoughts are on any of the games we mentioned as well. And with all that, I will see you guys next time. Peace.